Hello, this is OldCrowBalthazor, and welcome to Balthazar Strategic Arcana. So I'm happy to announce that Tanaka and I have a new series coming. It's the Solomons campaign. It comes with the new game Strategic Command World War II, War in the Pacific. I'm going to be playing the Americans. He's going to be playing the Japanese. I'm going to do an overview of this campaign real quick, and then we'll go through the strategy guide. So I'm going to do a hot seat. So it's going to run the Japanese turn first. I'm not going to move any units, but we'll read whatever pops up, and we'll take a look at the map. Fog of War I'll leave on. Okay. And then when I get to the American side, I'll show you guys from the American point of view. And I'm not going to move any units, but I'm going to show some pretty interesting things about this scenario. And him and me just got started recording. Well, I do. He's not a YouTuber. Tanaka and I have played for years, and he's been waiting for a Pacific War game. He tried to get me into some of the other ones, and well, I wasn't good enough. Anyway, I played him before. Let's just use this. I played him before in World at War. The first time I played him World at War, and he was a Japanese, I suffered 2 Pearl Harbors right off the bat. So we're planning a trifecta. We're going to be getting done with the Iwo campaign. And we're going to do this, and then we're going to do the Grand Campaign, Day of Infamy. Anyway, Allied Japanese reinforcements protection are detailed in 2 tables at the end of the 1942-1943 Solomons Campaign Strategy Guide. So yeah, I will show that later. Okay. Since you guys aren't going to be able to see the Japanese point of view, and if you're unfamiliar with this, we'll just show you what the first turn looks like with the Japanese. Coast Watchers spot Japanese naval forces 5 hexes away. Yeah, there's random places where these Aussies can pop up on the islands. We'll show you the whole chain if you're unfamiliar with this scenario. Coast Watchers, Allied operatives on remote islands, provide vital intelligence detecting Japanese movements up to 5 hexes away. Their role was pivotal in the Solomons campaign, earning high praise from U.S. Admiral Halsey, who credited them with saving Guadalcanal and the entire Pacific. And yes, without spoilers, I can attest that when they pop up, they can see far enough. And they're in some remote places, and they're hard to dig out. Okay, Japanese situation and strategy. In recent months, we've established bases in the Solomons, most notably on Guadalcanal, aiming to expand our southern perimeter and facilitate future advances towards strategic targets like Nauru, Ocean Island, New Caledonia, Fiji, and Samoa. This move seeks to sever supply lines between Australia and the United States, reducing the Allies' threat to our South Pacific positions. However, the American landing at Guadalcanal threatens our plans. Immediate defeat of the American force there is imperative. A swift and decisive attack is necessary. Capturing airfield on Guadalcanal is pivotal for victory. Yet, if we fail to gain control, we'll adopt a hold and delay strategy on key Solomon Islands, allowing time for the Imperial Japanese Navy to engage and weaken the American fleet. Alright, so they're going to be... Yeah, I would place it here. Now, me and Tanaka already ran some turns, so this is coming after. So, anyway, there are American units on here. Now, they can automatically win the Japanese if they get on Henderson Island. The scenario is over. Another interesting feature is the ships have ranges. So, like, this is a heavy cruiser. I will be using the 3D sprites through the course of the campaign. I usually use NATO. On the first turn, I use NATO. But the NATO counter is uninspiring. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and use them. On the first episode, you're going to have to endure the NATO. My friend, Unfortunate Son Ray, he has a set going, but he had some kind of misfortune that happened. He could not finish him for this release, his counters. Unfortunate Son's counter mod, which is excellent. Featured on my channel, a lot of people are aware of it. If not, just look at my channel and you can find it. He said that he's endeavoring to get them done this year. So, but, you know, life throws us curveballs, man. So anyway, I'm going to use 3D sprites anyway. So let's look at the map. Now this is pretty interesting how I designed it, and we're looking at the Japanese point of view. So this is Rabaul here. Now it's off the map, but they can move off, and actually it's up here, but because it's up here, but this is just abstract. So that's Rabaul, New Ireland Island. And so when Japanese get reinforced, a lot of the reinforcements will show up here. There are a few by event that will show up or already pre-existing. They'll show up on the chain. But you can use these loot boxes to get through. We'll go through these islands in a second. Here's Guadalcanal. Here's New Georgia. Here's Bougainville. And we'll go through the rest. This is Espiritu Santo. And that is actually way down here to the south. But they had to place it on the map here. And that's fine. You can't go through here. But this is interesting. If you look really close here, you see a hex here called Turtle Bay. When I run the Americans, I'll show you about this. So this is a little island that is between Espiritu Santo and San Cristobal Island and the southern part of the Solomons. So it's actually south, but again, it doesn't really matter. But this is an interesting feature we'll show you. So we'll go through, we'll look at this. So here's Guadalcanal right here. So the Japanese already hold ports here. I'm not sure what's going on with Renard or Russell Island. I don't know if an event will activate this or what's going on. We'll find out. What we could do really quick though is that is Australia, I think. Yeah, let's go ahead and shoot it. Yeah, look at that. This is another heavy cruiser. Choki, see, can I get in there? No, I missed. I'll probably go on out because I believe that there's American carriers here, and I got a destroyer. Yeah, we'll pull back. So anyway, I'll go through these ships, but they all have different ranges. It's pretty cool. So for the Americans, they have to hold Guadalcanal, and as a matter of fact, they got to get the Japanese out. The Japanese, I do know that they can, by event, some units just show up here, and he could pour stuff down the slot. Here's Iron Bottom Sound right here. This will live up to its name. Ships will get sunk because I'm going to have to contest it, the United States. Here is New Georgia Island, and as you can see, these are spots that the United States has to take, and well, the Japanese want to hold it. If the Japanese get ousted out of Guadalcanal, they still can win. They just got to hold on to Bougainville up here. And as you can see, there's a bunch of airfields here. And I think when we go through the strategy guide, I'll go through that in detail. But man, this is just fantastic. I tell you what. Oh, we got medium bombers. He does. Well, the Japanese do. Let's see if we can fly. Oh, I didn't fly it right. Too far. Yeah. Okay, well, I messed up. I said I wasn't going to move. So, anyway, let's go look at some of these islands here. Yeah, San Isabel. I believe, let's see. Yeah, these are the P hexes. This is where Coast Watch is, and they can see 5 hexes around. So this would be on Vangunu Island. If I have, they come up random. If this one popped up here, you can see all the way out to here and here. See what's in the port. So yeah, how do you get rid of them as a Japanese? Might be difficult. Yeah, here in Choiseul. And he on Bougainville. No. Well, anyway. That is it. So, the Japanese are going to be pouring down the slot here. They can come down this way too, and on this side, right? You got islands though to protect you, and you got ports. So let's go ahead and end that. U.S. Navy CB start fire strip construction on Guadalcanal. Right. Coast Watch is active. Oh damn! All right, Japan collects 97. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and watch. Mind you, this isn't a match. This is just a hot seat test. Yeah, that hurt. Oh, looks like we were protected in the port a bit. Yeah, this range fire is going to be interesting. I do believe the Japanese get the Matsu later on. It's a super battleship. You can shoot 5 hexes away. The light cruisers 2. Okay, Allied Japanese reinforcement information. You're right. Coast Watch is active. Alright, let's read this. No, I'm going to show this in the first video, so I will read this anyway. My first episode, I'm going to read it. See, in the past year, the Japanese have made significant moves in the Solomon Seas and Islands, initiating construction of naval and air bases. Objectives appear clear to safeguard the New Guinea offensive flank, fortify Rabaul's base security, and interdict supply routes between the United States and Australia. To safeguard Allied supply lines in the South Pacific, we launched Operation Watchtower, amphibious landings on Guadalcanal. However, the situation remains precarious, with the formidable Japanese forces at Rabaul poised for an immediate counterattack. And the forces will be formidable, as I'll show you when we go to the strategy guide later. Our primary focus must be on Henderson Field on Guadalcanal. Its control is vital, and losing it means immediate defeat. Yet, merely holding Henderson Field won't secure victory. You must rest. Other crucial airfields from Japanese control. The Japanese threat extends beyond Rabaul. They maintain strategic air and naval facilities across the island chain, menacing our supply lines. To thwart their advances, prevent Australia's isolation. Our imperative is clear: wrest control of the majority of Japanese airfields in the Solomons. Right. Okay, and I'll place this. And this will be placed here. So, this is what's pretty cool. Let's go look at here at Turtle Island. Here I am. I know the Japanese are here. Let's go to Guadalcanal. If he walks in here, we lose. So, again, I'm not going to move any units. So I already know what I did my first turn, but you can imagine I'm probably going to move right on here. And so I got the Japanese on both sides of me. The other thing that's worrisome is this dock. He could dink this dock pretty bad. And he's going to outnumber me in ships for a while. But I do have this. I have a carrier task force down here. They are not upgraded, though. So that could be a significant thing. Looking at Turtle Island. Turtle Island is pretty interesting. And here's our forces here. So I've got Marine Regiment. So those Special Forces. Artillery. Another Marine Special Forces. Okay. From Turtle Island. It's got anti-air here. There's no dock. So I won't be able to get him off. But... and this is unupgraded, but look at how far I can fly to maritime bombers. Just from Turtle Island. So I can at least see the approaches here. So you can imagine the kind of different strategies I'm going to need. If I want to bring the Americans in, you know, and the port's gone, I might have to do landings on the island. But this is going to be a key place. Now, it could be attacked. If the Japanese got in close, they could bomb this. That's why this anti-air is here. So anyway, that's pretty cool, man. So with the Americans, again, it's going to be dangerous. I'm going to go show you guys a strategy guide here pretty quick. And it's just a fantastic map. I mean, it's beautiful. And there's some islands here that are uninhabitable. You could get Marines in and out if you wanted to pop. These towns, the supply is terrible. You can see it just extends just beyond these native villages, right? Yeah. San Isabel Island. And I think that Pavuvu and Renard Airfield, Russell Island is going to be super important. Now look at here. This is how far I can see. Well, that's really going to chap his hide. Would he send Marines in here to kill him? Probably. Maybe. Bomb the snot out of him? I don't know. Looks like their readiness and morale are both in the gray. Yeah, 36% and 47%. But entrenchment of 1, so might have to dig them out. But apparently you can't move them. As far as I know. Let's see. Can I move them? Maybe I could. No, 0 action points. So they're stuck there. But that's fine though. But look at how far you can see. So yeah, if you wanted to use this launch channel to go, you know, assemble as task forces. So here's the slot against San Isabel Island, Choloso Island, La Villa Island. Super important. An objective. And then the hell that's Bougainville. Well, it could be hell. There's no communications between the towns at all, is there? No. And then there's Ibuka up here. And then, of course, proximity to New Ireland Island or Rabaul. Well, anyway, this is going to be interesting as heck. I'm going to go ahead and move this guy. I bet you I can spot. Yeah, I can see him. I would probably move here. And I don't know what I would do with the ships. We'll all find out. So anyway, I'm going to go and take a break for a second, and we'll go to the strategy guide. All right, see you in a little bit. All right, here we are with the 1942-1943 Solomon's Campaign Strategy Guide by Robert Carver. It was during the Solomon's campaign that the Allied Pacific War effort shifted from a defensive one to an offensive one. While Midway checked the Japanese advance, it was in the Solomon Islands that the Allies started to regain ground. It started with an American reactionary amphibious operation code named Watchtower against Guadalcanal and with the isolation of tens of thousands of Japanese troops. The mini-campaign creates the same situation. It starts with the American landing at Guadalcanal and quick Japanese counteractions. It becomes imperative for the Americans to hang on to Guadalcanal's airfield lest the Japanese achieve a sudden death victory. The game also models many of the intelligence, technological, and operational aspect of the historical campaign. There are Australian coast watches that allowed Americans to get advanced information on Japanese ship movements. Both sides can apply technological upgrades to their units, and players will have to already have or develop skills in organizing and conducting amphibious operations. The game opened with the U.S. Marines having landing at Guadalcanal, Tulagi, and Gavudo, Tanambogo, and a Japanese cruiser task force bearing down the U.S. naval force patrolling the waters off of Savo Island. Here we go. Yep. Victory conditions. Player wins by accomplishing historical campaign milestones ahead of what was done, the Americans, or what was not accomplished, the Japanese. USA, hold Henderson Field, then capture Renard, Segi, Munda, Barracoma airfields, and one of the three airfields, Buka, Kita, or Kahili, on Bougainville before the end of the game. Japan, capture Henderson Field, which is a sudden death victory for Japan. It could happen. Or hold all three of the airfields on Bougainville, Buka, Kita, and Kahili till the end of the game. Bougainville's right here, so we'll look at that in a second. All victory hexes are marked with a red or green star. The red star indicates a hex must be held till the end of the game. Green star indicates that only one of three must be held, in addition to all the red stars. There's Guadalcanal, Russell Island, Rendova, New Georgia's in here, and Bougainville. Here's Rabaul up here. So, interesting. I got a feeling this is going to be a dynamic match. What really did happen? Historically, the Allies held on to Guadalcanal and forced a Japanese evacuation. The Allies planned to step up the Solomon ladder to Rabaul before it became clear that an island-by-island advance was unnecessary. Island hopping became the strategy. Less important strongholds were bypassed and isolated while the Allies focused on key airfields and ports. The largest Allied operations, Toenails and Cherry Blossom, secured New Georgia and Bougainville. Other landings were conducted to capture secondary facilities, and targeted raids were launched to keep the Japanese off balance. The Japanese did try to counter these offenses, but before the end of the campaign, the Japanese decided to use the Solomons as a strategic obstacle in order to buy time to strengthen their inner defenses. However, the Japanese combined fleet still sortie from truck from time to time, seeking to engage the American Navy, but was unable to ever force a decisive battle. In the end, the Allies grew stronger with better equipped and more adequately supplied forces coming into the Pacific. The Japanese were unable to delay the advance any longer. The campaign had ended with Rabaul isolated and the Allies advancing their way through the Pacific toward Japan. In-game modifications. There is no production. Rather, units are limited by force pool quantities and what has already been deployed in the production queue. The Solomon Islands are Australian-owned and Japanese occupied so as to generate partisan units specifically modified to simulate Coast Watchers. To model U.S. code breaking, the Allies have a higher intelligence technology levels. Okay. With Coast Watcher. Unit modifications. Units start with lower technological levels, but unit technological upgrades are available for application at the normal MPP cost. All maritime bomber units are renamed patrol aircraft with technology upgrade values for range and have anti-submarine attack values. Coast Watchers use Australian parsons that can spot up to 6 hexes away. Escort carriers have naval weaponry versus submarine warfare. Surface naval units have ranged gun fire as follows. Super battleships, 5 hexes. Battleships and battlecruisers, 4 hexes. Heavy cruisers, 3 hexes. Light cruisers, 2. Destroyers and motor torpedo boats, 1. Unit size. Yeah, divisions, regiments, I saw battalions too, in air wing level. For the most part, 2 aircraft carriers or battleships make up 1 unit. 4 light aircraft carriers, I guess, would make up a unit. Heavy or light cruisers make up 1 unit. 10 destroyers make up 1 unit. Alright. Japan alone has 2 submarine units, and the USA alone has 2 PT patrol boats units. Each special force unit is made up of 2 United States Marine Corps Raider, paratroop, or Japanese SNLF battalions. Okay, that's where I saw battalions before. NATO symbols have been adjusted accordingly. That's if you use NATO counters. What to expect. The victory conditions terrain necessitate multiple long and short amphibious landings, major amphibious assaults on Guadalcanal, New Guinea, and Bougainville, counter landings, a number of smaller amphibious landings, and maybe a few raids given an individual's game playing style. I'm playing Tanaka. Everything's on the menu playing Tanaka. Units will have to maneuver from both sides. There'll be a big smorgasbord of action, I'm sure. Units will have to maneuver over dense jungle and mountainous terrain, precarious and potentially crippling supply levels. Given the size of the fleets, expect large naval surface actions and carrier battles, punctuated by smaller surface and subsurface actions. Numerous and almost constant aerial battles, or contestant. Probably both. Reinforcements. Allied and Japanese reinforcements are listed below. Following tables reflect what is already in the production queue. Do not include other reinforcements that arrive based on random game events or AI bonuses. So both sides are gonna have to rely on this because these don't show up in the production queue, but you can access the strategy guide if you're playing this game. That might change in the future though. Now we can just let's look at the United States. And by the way, this campaign lasts almost a year, as far as I know. And each turn's 15 days, and it's simultaneous. Yeah, right off the bat, I get fighters, a regiment, Marine regiment, strap bombers, yeah, light cruisers. Oh, okay, these come in at Guadalcanal. Won't have to ship them in. Everything else is going to have to come by boat or operate. Yeah, Esperanto or Tulagi if I'm holding it. Yeah. That's right across the strait. From Lugo Point and Guadalcanal. Most everything's coming to Espirito Santo. Oh, there's a lot of different kind of stuff that's coming in. Yeah, you can look at the dates here. We start, in September. Right. Through the winter, but there's not much of a winter down by the equator, right? I'll be curious to see how the weather changes, though. It'll be a dry season, wet season. I would say a lot of wet. We even get New Zealander troops. Interesting. HQ. Okay. Now, here's the Japanese. Carriers. Pretty early on, man. Now, I have carriers already on the board. They're not upgraded, though. Elite 2 subunits. There's one coming there. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty early into the fray also. Wow. They're coming up at Raboul. Yeah, these enter on the first turn. He gets to place them. That's in the north somewhere. Fosse. Oh, look at here. These get to be placed in Guadalcanal. Boy, October. Unless I sweep the island, which I really don't think that's going to be possible that early. But yeah, having this will alleviate his HQ or his supply problem somewhat. The rest coming in Raboul. Something else at Fosse. I'll have to figure out where that is. First base force. Interesting. Special Forces, 4th South Seas, Raboul. Oh. Yeah, quite a few HQs. Artillery. Oh, this is going to be a bloodfest, man. Oh, this looks exciting. All right. Well, anyway, so that's it for the strategy guide. And thanks, Robert, for making this game. Now, again, I might have mentioned, I'm sure I mentioned before, I didn't do the Iwo Jima. I was in the beta test, and I didn't do the Iwo Jima deep testing on that, or this one. I wanted to save these. There was plenty of people working on this one. So there's that. So anyway, well, it's going to be a good one. All right. Well, we'll see you guys on the virtual battlefields. I'm gone.